The number 2 most watched video on this channel is one I did a couple of years ago on taxes. And my man Chad Brown, who's with us today, was the one who gave me that information. So I said, hey, Chad, would you be willing to revisit some of this and maybe give us some ideas on some things that either have changed, have not changed, things they should take advantage of, but 2021 and even moving into 2022, what should we be thinking about? What can we take advantage of?
Well, let's do it, because at the end of the day, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. So let's have everybody keep more money.
Yep.
And for most people and most of you farmers, one of your biggest expenses is taxes. So let's figure out, how can we change that? How can we avoid it? And start by what's in the plans and the new bills right now that are good or bad for you. And I got good news.
Yeah.
Nothing passed that's a negative for farmers right now. So
Good.
all these changes, all these new bills, everything that floated around, all the capital gains you were hearing about, all the fuel taxes, everything from that standpoint, none of that
Good.
passed, and everything stayed the same or better for farmers. You can still deduct everything you were deducting in the past. You still have the same benefits of depreciation up to $1 million of equipment and anything, pickups, vehicles, those kind of things. So it's actually an awesome time to be a farmer from a tax position standpoint, because there's a lot of tools you can utilize and a lot of ways to really pay no taxes or get that really low. One of the things I want to talk about right now that a lot of people are missing, I see on farm returns, there's something that passed a couple of years ago called QBI.
Okay.
It's a deduction for businesses, and farms qualify as a business. You can deduct 20% of your profit before you're taxed. It's nothing you have to do on your end. You just have to have somebody that knows what they're doing on the tax return.
Okay, so 20% of your profit
Comes off the top. So let's use real numbers as an example.
Okay.
Let's say, to make numbers easy,
Yeah.
let's say you bring in $200,000 of revenue, of
Gross.
sales, of gross. That's right.
Okay.
We write off $100,000 in expenses,
Okay.
and we got $100,000 profit. Well, if your tax return takes advantage of QBI and is prepared right, you're not paying taxes on $100,000. You're only paying it on 80. So 20 grand comes off the top, just like that. Most farms qualify. There's not really a whole lot of restrictions. So you just want to make sure whoever's handling your taxes or helping you prepare those, or if you're preparing them yourself, you take advantage of that. There's a few boxes to check to say you qualify for QBI, and that's it. 20% of your income goes away.
One of the things you talked about in that first video was I encourage them, you can do your taxes yourself, but get somebody that can help you, because you can probably save. So if you've got a tax person or you're doing it yourself and you didn't know about that, if you don't pay taxes on $20,000, depending
That's
on your tax
$6,000, $7,000, $8,000.
I don't know if a tax person costs that.
Heck no, absolutely.
I mean, you do my taxes, but we want to keep it. Don't be playing too much that high.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I rarely see a scenario where if you hire somebody that has farm or has business experience, that you don't save way more than what they're charging you. And the other thing too, and again, it's no big secret here, the biggest place I see farmers miss on their taxes is missed deductions. It's just not keeping up with things.
Yeah.
If you will keep up, if you will track, come up with some system, or just seriously just pay somebody $100, $200 a month to do it for you. And cell phones, internet, fuel, expenses, boots, clothes, all, you can deduct so many things.
Yeah.
Supplies, tools, gloves, it goes on and on and on and on. But if you're not keeping up with it and you're not tracking it, like, that's $10. I'm not worried about it. That adds up to thousands of dollars a year, and will easily pay for somebody to do it for you. So yeah, that's a big thing is just keep up with what you're spending and track it in some way that some professional or somebody can help you, or pay somebody to do it, and just make sure you're taking advantage. There's so many our tax code is built around farmers and around small business owners, and there's so many things you can take advantage of. And just Google or read or ask questions. That's what it's all about.
I listened to a book the other day, and the guy was talking about taxes and real estate, basically. He's like, look, everybody has to pay taxes, and that tax code is basically a big old thick book of how to deduct.
That's right.
So you got to pay taxes, but there are tons of ways to deduct. So you need to find a way, and you need to probably get somebody who can help you find all those many ways and different things that can help.
And I will tell you, it is common knowledge if you're a farmer and you're growing your business or you're growing your farm, you're probably on paper losing money on your tax return. I mean, it's almost a joke. Like, farmers don't pay any taxes and they're all driving around in new pickup trucks and new John Deere combines. And it's the truth. Yeah. There's so many loopholes and things built there. If you take advantage of that, it's going to save you a ton of money. And just do the little things like keep up with what you're spending. And that's really all there is to it.
Yeah, and it could theoretically look like on paper, but I know every grower that's watching this right now is going, oh, I am losing money these days. So, yeah, I mean, things have gotten tougher in the antibiotic-free environment and all the junk going on. So, by all means, take advantage of every little thing.
So here's the cool thing. For farms that are losing money, or on paper, we can show that it looks like you lost money because of depreciation and write-offs and things. You can use those losses to offset income from other businesses or from your spouse's W-2. So let's say you're a farmer and your wife works at UGA. Say they take out $4,000 or $5,000 in taxes from her paycheck. You can use the losses or depreciation from your farm to offset her W-2 taxable income and get back a refund of $4 or $5 that they took out of her check. So you can use that in so many ways. And one of the biggest changes we've seen, we talked about changes and how that means for farmers, but let's talk about farmers with families. So much has changed in the tax law in the last month or two around having children. Child tax credit has almost doubled. Dependent care. If you have kids under the age of 17, there's so many more credits and so many more things you can take advantage of now. So we're seeing farmers that have younger families, just their tax situation is changing by thousands of dollars from the benefits of some of the new tax bills. So if you're a farmer and you clear taxable income, I would say less than $400,000, you're going to benefit from anything that's happened in taxes here over the last 6 months to a year. Now, if you're clearing over 400, if you're at 500, $1 million, you're probably going to be about the same. And you start getting over that. I mean, I don't know any farmers at this level. I don't know who's listening to this video here, but if you're over $4 or $5 million, then you're probably going to pay a little more in taxes. So that's what's going on right now in the tax world. That's how it relates to you all, and the things I would say to have knowledge of. And really, I'm in the tax business. This sounds a little biased, but it's the truth. Pay somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. And not just the person on the corner or your family friend, somebody that's got some farm or business experience, and they will save you thousands of dollars. That's one of my biggest recommendations.
Cool. So there's a ton of things we could do. Honestly, there's no sense in even doing the research to find out what can I get, what can I, like I said, just pay a little to make a lot. So try and find somebody good that can do that for you so you can spend your time growing birds. Now, I kind of got a double purpose here. So Chad also helps a lot of businesses, small businesses. Every grower who's watching this is basically a small business owner.
That's right.
So taxes, I believe we've got a hold on that, some things you can take advantage of, but asking Chad Brown, the tax and serial CEO, because Chad owns quite a few businesses. What is one or two things that you would encourage a small business owner that they ought to do? No holds barred. What advice would you give to a small business owner?
All right, absolutely. And this definitely applies to growers and farmers because you're running one heck of a hard small business. So my biggest thing, and this is, people get busy, they get in the weeds, they get in the fire of everything, and they start looking at day to day. You got to get the heck out of that. You've got to be the CEO of your farm, of your business. You got to run it like a business because that's what it is, and the goal is to make freaking money. And so you got to back up for a second. You need to have a 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year plan for what that business is going to look like and what that farm is going to look like. If you don't have a 1 year, 3 year, or 5 year plan laid out, if you don't have a strategy, things are going to change. You're probably not going to hit it, but you know where you want to go, and you've laid out how you think you should get there. And that is a game changer for me because then my business decisions are based on where I want to go and not my emotions of what's happening today. If you don't, when you got money, you're going to spend it on things that don't take you where you want to go. When you don't have money, you're going to be stressed and you're going to make bad decisions. It's going to derail you from where you want to go.
Be proactive.
So lay out a strategy, lay out a plan, and just build a budget or a system behind how you're going to accomplish where you want to be. That's what I recommend over everything else and anything in any business or for any farmer. And the second thing is figure out what that's going to look like in the future and what is your end game, what is your exit plan. Again, most people look at how can I make money today or how much money am I going to make this year. But at the end of the day, what's your plan with this thing?
Yeah.
And so there's a strategy of the 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and then there's the end game of what's my plan? Am I going to hand this off to my kids? Am I going to sell it? Am I going to shut it down when I pay off my loans? What are you going to do? Because there's only 3 things that can happen with the business.
Yeah.
You sell it, you give it away, or you shut it down. You can't run it forever. You don't want to work this hard forever.
No.
So go ahead and decide those things now with your farm, with your plan. If your plan is to have 10 houses in 5 years, then budget accordingly and plan accordingly and start building those banking relationships or whatever you need. If your plan is to take these 3 houses and as soon as they're paid off, tear them down and build some massive personal house on the land, that's great. Plan accordingly, make decisions accordingly. That's my recommendation for business owners and for farmers and growers.
Cool. One of the growers that actually, he's on this list of, we did a personal interest story for Shannon's story. It was a dermatitis story, but anyway, Shannon just paid off his farm, quit growing chickens, and went back into ministry. So it's a good thing. What is your end goal? It's not just a
Why are you waking up working so hard every day?
Yeah.
Like, what's the end game? What's the strategy? Where are you going with this thing?
Yeah.
And for me, it's kind of like I tell people, it's like telling you to get in the car and drive to California without a map. Like, you don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
So you got to build a map. You got to build a road. You got to know where you're going. You got to know I want to go to California, and then you got to have a map of how the heck I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
And so I think for anybody out there, that's the biggest advice I could give you from one business owner to another.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, Chad, thanks again for taking a little time with us. And I say if you got any questions, reach out to me, but I don't have any tax answers for you. So anyway, but I might can help you find or get you in the right place. But anyway, if any other questions we can help you with, or if you've got any other ideas you'd like to see us do a video on, give me a holler at alan@southlandorganics.com or 1-800-608-3755. And remember, do all you can to keep that money you're making.